Good evening, King.
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Hear you loud and clear. You sounding real good. First of all, I want to welcome everybody to Conversations with Al Mecca. I'm your host, and we got the legendary MC Chill, Cleveland's own. And everybody know I've been doing a lot of hip hop lately, and it's the way it's falling into place is real beautiful. I did the West Coast and all up and down the East Coast, but I had to bring it back to Ohio, more specifically Cleveland. And we're gonna get some hip hop history and lessons from MC Chill, Cleveland's original. You know what I'm saying? Like the godfather of this thing, man. How you doing today?
Talk to me, King. Talk to me, Cleveland, and everybody else that's somewhere good on the planet. What's going on, bro?
Oh man, just blessed to be here, my brother. All right, we're gonna jump into it like this. Tell me about your early beginnings that even got you into music. Like, what was your whole musical vibe? What inspired you to be like, I like this. I want to do this.
You talking about my inspiration in the hip hop?
Yeah, yes, and music. We'll start with music, and then we'll transition into hip hop.
Well, I'm born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and both my parents came here from pretty much the South. My mother came from Tennessee. My father came from the hood in Miami, Opelika. Shout out to all my people in Opelika. But they're HBCU. I'm an HBCU baby. My parents met at Central State, so music was always a part of the household, a part of the life. Always was music in the house, and I always loved music, especially black people music, because it I could feel it in my body, in my soul.
Yeah.
And but appreciation for all type of music. But hip hop, man, that's a quantum leap. Fortunately, man, like a lot of OGs, I remember when it wasn't any hip hop, and I heard my first rap record the same as everybody else outside of New York City when I heard Rapper's Delight, and it struck a chord. And I started after I learned all of the lyrics to Rapper's Delight. I started writing rhymes like a week later, and went to the party. My man Vince Robinson, DJ Lonnie V, let me get the mic. He didn't know what I wanted it for, because back then somebody want to grab the mic. Now everybody know you wanna burn something down with some bars. Well,
Right.
back then, what you want the mic for. You got an announcement, a party next week. You lost your keys. What you want the mic for? And I jumped out there with my bars, and people was like, yeah. And so the rest, man, it was on. No turning back after that.
Wow. So do you remember what your first rhymes were?
Oh yeah, I'm MC Kevin D in the place to be. No
Okay.
doubt.
So how long was this going on before you decided you want to really try to do something with this?
Well, you gotta. I mean, people may not know, but when you rhyming in at the very beginning of hip hop as a national thing, it might have been, back then you could go to the record store when it was record stores, and it might only be 5 rap records on the planet. Either it was, and they all was like on Sugar Hill Records. Maybe like a Curtis Blow, Sugar Hill Gang, Sequence, and maybe another Sugar Hill label. We didn't really get the old school Enjoy Records. All my New York East Coast people, OGs and hip hop know those, the Enjoy label records. But it wasn't a lot of hip hop out, so it was nothing that you really thought did a career, or even somebody could make records. Not from Cleveland. The only rappers you knew were from New York City, and it was only a handful back then. But I got together and was part of Cleveland's first supreme rap group, the Bomb Squad, myself, DJ Cochise, DJ Kid Finesse, MC Wayne G, rest in peace. And we formed the Bomb Squad, and Cochise won like this big club style showdown on WDMT, which was probably the first time anybody heard anybody in Cleveland rapping live. And the first time, you know, you heard a Cleveland cat DJ cutting and cutting and scratching. And Cochise became like an overnight success. And we were in the group together, the Bomb Squad. And the next week we on Cleveland radio, you know, rocking rhymes. And we were like celebrities without a record. So, you know, that was in the early days of Cleveland hip hop. I call that like ground zero. So I tell people, you know, nobody was rapping before me, not in Cleveland. They might have been rapping with me, but you know, so we go back to day one. But yeah, man, it was a magical experience to be involved like that in the onset of hip hop as what was to become a global phenomena.
So you guys were literally the hip hop scene around here.
Oh, yo, no doubt. Like I said, I tell anybody, man, when Cochise won that club style showdown, because the club style showdown was for club DJs, not hip hop DJs. In Cleveland, you know, no hip hop DJs had ever got on the radio before, and Cochise opened that door, but we had already been rocking as a group. But you know, he caught fire, and we came through the door waving a 44. And yeah, so the same. I tell anybody this. I don't think it can be disputed that the hip hop scene in Cleveland started that day at WDMT. That's day one. That's when Cleveland becomes a hip hop scene. Cochise becomes the first DJ that the whole city knew, and the Bomb Squad. Me, Cochise, Kid Finesse, Wayne G, rest in peace. We become the first rappers that the city knows, citywide. The scene started that day.
Okay, that's crazy. Now, how did you get the attention? Like, what happened for you to even get into a record label deal? Like what transpired?
Oh, see, now that's a whole different thing. So you got to figure I was already rhyming in 1980, and so I got my record deal in 1985. So you know, and that's easily Cleveland's first. You know, I became the first cat to have a national record deal out of Cleveland, but I had already been 5 years in the game. But you know, I had been working on a regional deal with my man Jimmy Stevens. Big ups to Jimmy Stevens, rest in peace. Lord Jazz's uncle from Lords of the Underground.
Okay.
But yeah, my big bro Jimmy Stevens wanted to do a regional deal, wanted to do like that new hip hop stuff, and everybody was saying you wanna hit up MC Chill, you wanna hit. So he hooked up with me and we started working on demos. Funny thing, on the way to the regional deal, Mr. Magic, Roxanne Shante, Biz Marquis, Fly Tie, Molly Mall, that crew, they come to Cleveland in 1985, and me and Mike Chapman, he calls me up and say, yo, I'm going to pick up Mr. Magic from the airport. You want to roll? I'm like, hell yeah. So I jump in the car. Mike, who had produced my demo, threw one of my joints in the van, in the WDMT van. You know, they speakers bumping at the radio station van. Yeah. And Mr. Magic was like, who the hell is this? And they like, oh, that's Chill. He said, who produced it? He was like, I did. He was like, hey, can I get a copy of that? Take it back to New York. And for the people who don't know Mr. Magic, he basically created the rap radio format. Period. Everybody knows him from WBLS. They know him from that Biggie shout out. Mr. Magic, Molly Mall. Yeah. Houdini made a song, Mr. Magic's Wand. Mr. Magic discovered Houdini. That's why they named themselves Houdini. And you know, he took my demo to the iconic Fever Records in the South Bronx, the home of hip hop. If anybody saw the old school movie Crush Groove, it took place at the club, The Fever, and that club, you know, created their own label for a bunch of New York cats. I know they never really thought that there's going to have a Cleveland dude up in there, but you know, I was also kind of the first non-New Yorker to really, you know, get down like that in New York. They didn't never really get down with people outside of New York back then. So I kind of, you know, opened the door for the rest of the country to be accepted in New York and the nation worldwide. It wasn't an Atlanta scene, wasn't a Detroit scene, wasn't LA wasn't really coming over to New York. They wasn't really rocking the LA cuts, but they were rocking mine. And so that, man, I was like an alien to them cats in New York. They, you know, they said I talked funny.
Yeah.
You know, the cats in New York think that if you're not from New York, you sound country.
You don't matter, almost.
Right. You know, I had a different swag, a different style, and you know, they weren't used to seeing, you know, hip hop cats not from New York in New York moving with them. So, you know, it was something they had to get used to, and thank God I was able to, you know, open that door for everybody else to then come in and get accepted and make all that money. So they owe me some money too.
Now, let me ask you this: you in New York, and I know how MCs do ciphers, just sitting around spitting. What was the reaction when they first heard you spit?
Hey man, first of all, you gotta realize, man, my first gig, my first professional rap gig was in New York City, in the Bronx, the home of hip hop, where hip hop started, at the Fever, where, you know, they done saw all the originals, Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Everybody that was out was Run DMC. Everybody's out was at the Fever. So, you know, if you could come and rock at the Fever, because all the MCs, all the DJs, all the B-boys, breakdance kids, all the graffiti artists, they hanging out there. They saw hip hop from day one
Right.
in the Bronx at that club at the Fever. So they like, hey, not trying to put any pressure on you, Chill, but if you can rock out here, you can rock anywhere. But this is a tough crowd. They'll throw your ass off stage if they don't think, you know, you really rocking. And thank God they didn't throw me off stage. I'm from Cleveland. I'm not having that, you know, getting thrown off the stage type stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, man, New York cats, they knew I was, you know, I was true to the culture and true to the game. They could feel that. And the rhymes that I was talking about was really talking about how I felt about being an MC and the art and the craft in my heart. And I think they respected that. It still wasn't, you know, it took them a while to you know, to get used to me, to like a non-New Yorker up in they spot. But, you know, I held my own. I do what I do. You know how we do it in Cleveland.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I know the energy just had to be like mad crazy. Now, how did you even come up with the name MC Chill?
Well, I was already rocking as Chill from the beginning, man. You know, everybody's name gets shortened to it, so I was like Chili D, and then I lost the D. Then it was just Chili. Then it was Chill. Then when I start rocking the mic, then it became MC Chill. So
Yeah.
It was just a progression of Chill, the whole 40 Below joint.
And I still remember, man, that iconic album cover, On the Beach with the Fur.
Right, on the beach with the women in bikinis.
Yeah.
And I'm rocking the winter gear. And that was my concept. That was my concept. The record company owner, and as iconic as Fever Records, you know, as they are, they're number one artist of all time, the legendary Love Bug Starsky, who also got a shout out by Biggie. You know, Love Kid Capri, Love Bug Starsky. Man, Starsky is like a legend, and he's gone, rest in peace, but a legend of the original MCs who could also rap and DJ at the same time. His live at the Fever is iconic in the Bronx. And so I came up with that concept, but Fever Records never had an album, a long play, multiple track album before me. They had a bunch of 12-inch singles. Even the great Love Bug Starsky never had a full play album, just 12-inch singles. So they never had to deal with cover art before me. And so I came up with that concept, and they was like, well, where you gonna get the women? I'm like, hey, they have a bikini contest at the Fever and the Devil's Nest also in the Bronx every week. Just go grab the winners and let's make it happen. So that's how that cover came to be.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, after you, there seemed to be like a gap. Like, why don't you think people why didn't they really take to Cleveland? Or was it something going on in Cleveland that nobody really came after you for a spell?
Well, it wasn't for not having talented artists in Cleveland. We always, man, it was even before I had a record out, man, it was like so many dope MCs and DJs, the whole hip hop scene. We cover all the elements, MCing, DJing, graffiti, and B-boy and breakdance. And we always had that whole scene. But I don't know, they just wasn't at my time. Like I said, the East Coast was popping, and the West Coast had just started making some noise. Like Ice-T came out, and we were contemporary. We came out at the same time, but they still wasn't really rocking like that West Coast on the East Coast, and really not even to the Midwest until Ice came. Like Ice came with like 6 in the morning, and that changed the game. I mean, he was always rocking in LA on the West, but I think 6 in the morning, kind of kicked the door down for the West Coast scene. And, it just took a while for everybody to, know that they could have artists from other places. But it was always dope MCs in the land. But, and I had dope MCs in my camp. I had a camp called The Final Conflict, Bango the B-Boy Outlaw, Surge, Serious Effects Rhymes Giving Education. We had dancing cats, Todd Ski, who later on went on to become one of the most known hip-hop dance choreographers in the country. Usher, Chris Brown, Beyonce. He even did choreography for Mike Jackson. But they all came out of my camp in Cleveland. So we were making incremental noise, but obviously nobody hit big after me. Almost 10 years later, when my brother MC Brains went national. But yeah, you're right. It was a long gap between me and Brains.
Yeah, because it was like it's always been talent around here, always. But it just seemed like just getting it out. And I remember when even Mark Gordon was trying to do his thing on the hip hop side.
That's my man. I was rocking with Mark Gordon. I was part of Three-Way Street. I was part of the three. It was me, Mark Gordon, and Gerald and his cousin A.B. Walker. We were the three. And as you know, the building was on Way Street, and that's why we called it Three-Way Street. And yeah, man, we actually should have made a whole lot more noise, because Marco, that's my man, always had dope tracks. But yeah, it wasn't for, but everything in time. We started making moves. People know Bango from being down with Ice-T, and Surge did some dope stuff with some groups in New York. Went down there and showed up on other people's tracks and burned it up. So we were coming. They couldn't hold us back. Like my man said, 9 can't stop the bum rush.
Cause I remember coming up to the studio and whatnot with C Love. Shout out to C Love. He on here.
My man Canton, stand up.
And I'm like, this is a team. Like Juice Crew, whatever. The talent was there.
Right. We had a nice crew, man, over Three-Way Street. We had a nice crew. So yeah, that should have been super dope. And it's funny when you say the Juice Crew, just as a point of reference, the cat who discovered me, Mr. Magic, is Sir Juice. The Juice Crew is also named after him. So he created the Juice Crew. Yeah. So that's my lineage as well.
So So how do you feel about the scene in Cleveland right now?
Man, we've always had so many dope MCs, but now it's like so many lanes and levels to hip hop. You know, it's cats, you know, this on the old school flow. It's cats on the new, whether they on the trap, the drill, the, you know, the new stuff. It's even, we even got like some burners in the battle rap community. Big ups to my brother Fonz. We making noise nationwide, you know, in the battle rap. So, you know, whatever kind of hip hop you loving in Cleveland, you can find what you're looking for. Because now we have our hands all over the pulse of all different variations. I mean, and plus, you know, you had cats all still working, making noise. Ray Jr., cats like that. Big ups to all them brothers. So yeah, I mean, they got people coming out. They got projects doing stuff. They bringing people up. So yeah, but yeah, everybody, man, the hip hop scene in Cleveland, I feel like a proud, you know, father to see where we have gone from where it started when I came in the game. And I mean, every time somebody broke from Cleveland, I was proud. When Bone and them, you know, when Brains broke, when Bone and them broke, you know, I was happy to see that movement from my city and to see us making noise worldwide. So yeah, I love it. Big ups to Cleveland. Stand up.
Now, you know, they're doing the fifth, you know, this is supposedly the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And from your perspective, in totality, because you are one of the few who really seen it from its inception till now, what has been your takeaway from in the last 50 years of hip hop? What's been your takeaway?
Hey man, to know that hip hop has gotten 50 years old, and of course I have the pleasure, especially from me with that Bronx connection, South Bronx connection, the birthplace of hip hop. You know, for me to actually know cats like Kool Herc, the father, the acknowledged father of hip hop, the one who created this whole thing. You know, I've had the chance to meet Herc and see Herc and just, you know, kind of rap with him a little bit. And the groups, the early groups, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, they're my dudes. I performed with Grandmaster Flash. And a matter of fact, Grandmaster Melly Mel, who everybody knows from The Message, is on my song. We do a song together on MC Story. And so Mel is on that cut with me. So you talking about to see them cats from day one experience the birth and the growth of something to be as large and global. I mean, hip hop affects the world, every single element of our existence, from fashion to politics to art, just, you know, from film, books. Man, hip hop is part of the culture now. So to know that it came from black and brown people in the South Bronx, you know, just trying to get a come up and express their talent, to know that it is turned into this gigantic thing, man, is a beautiful thing, man. And I'm so proud of those forefathers who even came before me. And like I said, I've gotten a chance to meet almost all of the cats. You know, I got a chance to hook up with a Grand Wizard Theodore, who invented the record scratch. Right. Fab Five Freddy, you know, one of the early graffiti writers and one of the producers of one of the earliest hip hop films, Wild Style. And like I said, being a Fever record artist, the movie Crush Groove was filmed at the Fever itself. I'm the only Fever artist at the time that wasn't in the movie because they rapped right before, as I was signing. So when the movie came out, I was an artist. Right. So that was a trip to see every single person on the roster in the movie except for me. You know, in the club that I done rocked in, hung out in, parlayed. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing to know that hip hop is 50, and you know, and I'm part of the, not only the Cleveland fabric of it, but the national fabric of it, and the initial fabric of it, just being connected to those brothers who started this whole thing. Big up.
Now is there going to be any representation of you in this? It's a Universal Hip Hop Museum that they're getting off the ground?
I don't know. Well, I do know that I think Sal hit me up, who owned the Fever and Fever Records and the Club, the Fever. You cannot do any type of honoring of hip hop at its formation foundational phase without including the Fever. So, even just from that, if the Fever is included, I'm included. But I haven't personally been contacted by anybody from that element of it. But you never know. We'll see.
Hey, I'll put it in the pitch for you because I was checking my man Van Silk.
Right.
He went live. Him and Prime Minister Pete Nice, who's helping facilitate it. And I had asked him, are they going to have any Ohio, representation in there? And they said, they're really trying to make it a universal thing. So they better reach out for you. And hey, man, I'm going to pitch for you myself.
I appreciate that, bro. But if they looking at Cleveland, of course they gotta get my nephews. They gotta get boning them in there. But I'll submit, and I've been asking around. I believe, and you may want to check on this. I believe I might be the first non-New York rapper, first non-New York based rapper to even ever chart on Billboard. And I'm including Philadelphia and LA. Please tell me somebody that charted on Billboard prior to January 1986. So that's like 85. I'm actually out there. So, and you can include Will Smith, you can include Ice-T, you can whoever, find somebody not from New York that charted before me on Billboard.
What's the best advice you ever received in the music game?
Oh man, man, so much, and so many people. I've met so many people, man. I was at the Fever. It was right after I had performed, and that's that was the toughest crowd in the world for hip hop. And when I finished, they wasn't. I went over to the bar. And Red Alert, cool DJ Red Alert, another OG pioneer from the Bronx, Boogie Down. He at the bar. He said, "You good, Chill?" I'm like, "Oh man, they really didn't clap for me." He was like, "Chill, you better look around, King. This the Fever. What, you thought they was gonna put you up on their shoulders and be like, dude, did they throw something at you? No. Did they grab you and physically throw you off the stage? Did they chase you out the door? Because that has happened before." Like, no, they didn't do none of that. Okay, well, dude, you rocked. He said, and I'm playing your record on, on Kiss, Magic and them playing on BLS. Dude, enjoy this ride, man. Enjoy the ride. And I tell cats that, man, I remember when Bone and them was first popping. Every time I saw them, I was like, man, don't put down the mic. Enjoy this ride as long as you can. So, I'm still enjoying the ride. And I appreciate, the experience that I've had and continue to. Oh, and now, first of all, recognize the fact I still got bars. So don't.
I was going to ask you in the studio?
We did a. And they go get me, but we need to put this out. We did a recording, a Cleveland version of the classic Juice Crew cut, the Symphony. Doom 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 doom. So me, Riff Raff, the Blue Collar MC, Eric Wilson, E-Dub, and Indica Spitz. We on that joint, burning it down. So yeah, you got to hear that joint. So I got to get that one out. But a lot of people have asked me to do cuts with them, and so we got some stuff planned. And like I said, always got bars. Just to let these youngins know. Like, I know you might want me on there for a gimmick. Like, it'd be nice to have the old dude on there, but just recognize the fact.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be playing around when I show up in the booth. I intend on burning it down. So come with your A game.
And that's my thing, because I understand, like, some people, at one point wanted to call it a young man's game, but they got to understand this is the youngest music genre. We've never seen people 50 years old into hip hop. We are the people.
Right. Hey, but I tell them, if it is a young man's game, young man, I am not playing. So don't play with it.
Like in rock and roll, country music, all that, they show so much respect to their pioneers.
Right. But and Al, you're absolutely right, bro. I mean, old blues, jazz piano players, man, them cats die with their fingers on the piano, 99 years old, still killing it at the club. But I mean, I recognize the fact that hip hop it was conceived as a movement created by young people for young people. I recognize and I respect that. But also as artists, and you see cats, that's still representing, like Chuck D, Karis One, Big Daddy Kane, them cats can still go, man. And, but in it's different lanes. Now, we ain't out here trying to, to kick like the young dudes type flow. But if you love the craft and you still, have the talent to spit, go get it.
Yeah, because I think it's a crowd, because we grew up on it. So yes, we still want to hear the lyricals, and we still want to have that feel and that vibe. We grew up with the artists.
Right. And you saw like at the Grammys, man, cats, man, Rakim, the God MC, killing it. Hey man, Melly Mel still want smoke with anybody who think they want smoke. Mel still, and he's like one of the first MCs ever. Of a MC as we know it. Now, that's old school cats, Coke Rock, stuff like that. But as far as rhyming on beats to records, Mel is like one of the first cats ever, period. And he's still out here spitting bars and want some smoke from whoever wanted from him.
Yeah, so like every time I hear him open up his mouth, he is not backing down from nothing.
Not at all. Mel want that smoke, man. Not at all.
I love it. What advice would you have for a lot of these Ohio artists that's really trying to get out here and they struggle with being from Ohio?
Hey man, we have the wherewithal to pop from right here in Cleveland. I mean, the way that the industry is designed now, the way these cats can put out music. They don't need the big studios like we needed to spend all that money. They got a computer. Everybody's a producer. Everybody has that equipment. Hey, man, you just got to be true to your game. Respect your craft. That's all I'm asking you to do is respect the craft and the art form. And do I expect everybody to be a socially conscious rapper? No. I mean, I dig that. But, everybody, not political, socio-political, geopolitical savvy like that. Yeah. But if you just got bars about whatever it is that you know about that you can do, just get your craft together and get your music out to the people. Everybody's goal, at this point might not necessarily be, oh, I want to make $1 million. It might just be, I want everybody to hear my dope music. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's how this thing started. So, but if you make $1 million, that's cool too. Drop me off a percentage. Like my man Jay-Z said, I overcharge them for what they did to the Cold Crush. I understand that. So somebody make $1 million and want to, come give the OG $1 or $2, I'll take it. But yeah, man, just respect the craft. Please know where this came from. They might not care, but that's like a basketball player not knowing about Bill Russell. Yeah. That's, come on, like a jazz musician not knowing about Miles Davis. Man, just kind of do a little bit of due diligence and know your history and know what hip hop actually is. It's even more than just MCing, rapping. Respect the art form. Try to at least know a little bit about the history.
And I feel with the technology and everything that we have right now, we can take the culture back, because I think it's been mishandled by powers that be. And now, because like platforms like Minds and other avenues, we can tell our stories correctly.
Right, and that's and that you out, man. You on point with that one. You so on point with that one. Everybody needs to hear what you just said, and we have the technology to be our own record company, our own producers, our own publishers. So you right, man. We need to take it back, and the criteria for the business end of it, we need to learn that, man. Well, I big ups to my brother Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs, my man Ant. He has a foundation, Spread the Love, and he's talking about teaching people the business of the music business, even from that end. So,
Yeah.
that's something really, that's where we always get lost, bro, the business end of it. But once we learn that, a lot of cats already showed us the way. Russell showed us the way. Puffy showed us the way. Master P showed us the way. Hov then showed us the way. Control your destiny. Control your product. You don't have like Hov said. I'm not just a businessman. I'm a businessman. I feel him
Yeah.
on that. Be the business. You the product. You your own brand. You your brand ambassador. Handle it.
And when it's all said and done, how would you describe your legacy? What would you say your legacy was?
Hey man, I to me, I guess my legacy is a dude that was an outsider before they really had outsiders in hip hop, who kind of, out of respect for the craft and the history of what hip hop was and what it meant, was able to come to New York, the mecca of hip hop, and show not only the MCs and the DJs and the radio stations and the record companies that other people, other places can do this. And while my records might not have been the largest records, that ever sold, it was definitely a step to which everybody else could get a foot up on once they understood that it's not just a New York thing. And you can accept cats from LA, you can accept cats from Atlanta, from Detroit, from Miami, or wherever, Seattle, wherever there's a scene. But, somebody had to be first. They say the pioneers, how you find the pioneers, they're the ones with the arrows in their backs. So, my legacy, and I mean, and like a song like MC Story, if anybody want to go, you can go on YouTube, you can go Apple, whatever. Hey, man, I put my heart and how I felt in that times of what it meant to be an MC. Actually, the original, the beginning lyrics is, I wrote this story not just for me, but for all who long to become MCs. And I meant that then. I mean that now. So I think my legacy in the broader scope is somebody who kind of let New York know that everybody can play this game. You don't have to just keep the ball to yourself. Locally, I think my legacy, just as one of Cleveland's first rappers, period, and then one of Cleveland's the first rapper to have a national record deal, is to let other cats see, hey, we can do this too. It's like cats looked up and say, man, Chill got a record deal. He's from Cleveland. And, and he's still in Cleveland. Like, he didn't leave and go to New York and didn't ever come back. I was doing my thing, from Cleveland. Granted, I was at college at Kent State University, big ups to Kent State and the Black Studies program. But yeah, just locally, just letting cats know that you can do this from Cleveland. And Bone and them, talk about it all the time. They said, man, we heard Chill on the radio. He was doing his thing, to let you know, if you can see it, you can be it. So hopefully that's part of my legacy.
It is. I really feel it is. And because every brick matters. You know what I'm saying? Every brick in this hip hop wall matters. And you've inspired, 9 times out of 10, you don't even know the people you do inspire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to even become a fan of hip hop. And that's why I try to tell people it's not even about being an artist all the time. Just becoming a fan of the hip hop culture and embracing it is a win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you pulled so many people in and be like, especially back then, like, what's this hip hop shit? Let me rock with it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. And again, man, I gotta say big ups to them cats that accepted me even in New York, man. Cats that, you know, cats that I'm still friends with today. Like I said, Chuck D, my man Dana Dane. We lost my man Biz Markie, man. That was my dude, man.
Yeah.
And a lot UTFO, Doc Ice, Mixed Master Ice, them cats, man. All the Kid and Play. We were label mates. Kid and Play, we were label mates. They were on Sutures, Fever Suture Records, Fat Boys. Man, them cats accepted me. My man, producer of my song "Nightmare on Chill Street," Fresh Gordon from Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Stand Up. I heard a cat on one of your interviews talking about how they remember they first saw Jay-Z rocking with Jazz.
Yeah.
Man, Big Jazz, that's my dude, man. He was talking about, you know, he knew that Jay-Z was on Hawaiian Sophie with Jazz. They had asked me to do Hawaiian Sophie. And that was crazy. We had Fresh Gordons, and they was talking to me because I had the deal, and they was like, man, I'm not. That's y'all's cut, man. But you know, cats like Jazz, you know, I saw Jay-Z rolling in with him all the time, and you know, Biggie and them was coming through in Brooklyn. Everybody in Brooklyn was coming through Fresh Gordon's crib. Salt and Pepper recorded Push It in Gordy's house. If they saw that Salt and Pepper movie, same place I recorded Nightmare on Chill Street. So big ups to all my people in Brooklyn, all my people in the Bronx that accepted me and welcomed me, and everybody from Cleveland that just showed me that love. And some didn't show. Everybody didn't show love. Like I tell cats, when you're the first one to get the love and the first one to get the hate.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't got nobody else to hate. They ain't nobody else to hate. If it was some other people, they could have hated on them too. But yeah, but most people, the city was happy for me to see somebody kind of break through that thing that the East Coast kind of had a hold on. So yeah, man. But big ups to my people in the Bronx, and I realized that a lot of the things that I did in New York was because of that whole Fever South Bronx legacy. And but I appreciate it all, and I carry all that with me. Cleveland, New York, all that whole thing. I hold all of it.
So what can we look forward to? Like what do you have coming up that we can check out?
Well, first of all, if anybody's been seeing me on social media, they know I went to Egypt in October. I know it ain't got nothing to do with music, but man, that was an incredible experience. And I'm going back to Egypt. Anybody want to go, holla at me. I'm going back in October and December. But musically, you know, I'm part of the Cleveland hip hop documentary that J. Cole and them is doing, and Legends of the 216. Man, that's gonna be super dope. So, you know, just keep your eyes out for that. I know I'll be part of Johnny O's 20th anniversary of Nerve DJs. Big ups to them brothers. And especially my man Johnny O. You talking about somebody that was there with me in the beginning. You know, they've been calling me, Johnny O, and Coach Cheeks the Holy Trinity of hip hop in Cleveland. I think that just means we're the three oldest cats. But we'll take that. Somebody, it got to be somebody. But, yeah, man. So, you know, yeah, no, but look for me, and you know, I'm gonna be jumping in, dropping bars on some other people's projects, and you never know. I definitely have enough bars for an album, a double album, a triple album. So you never know. If you might see the OG jump out there, you know, spitting some fire from time to time.
No doubt. Yeah, I remember when, because we was on the phone for over an hour just talking about Egypt. You got my wheels turning about that, bro.
Yeah, no, man, that's incredible, man. I mean, to just be there, you know, and see buildings that's 4,000 years old, and see those pyramids and those ancient temples and tombs, and to go inside, you know, and look King Tut in his face.
Yeah.
Man, it is an experience. So yeah, but also, you know, I'm a journalist. I've been a journalist. I'm a lifelong journalist, and you know, they'll be seeing a lot of things that I'm writing. I'll be back up at Radio 1 hopefully next month with my radio show Chill Talk. We'll be returning probably next month, and just as a written writer journalist, I will have some announcements of things to look forward to me. And shout out, I'm also the president of the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists. So big ups to everybody from the GCLABJ, of which we have a national convention coming to Cleveland in 2025. So it'll be 7,000 black journalists in the city, and it's going to be on. So big ups to all my writers, all my MCs, all my hip hop heads. Just know that Chill love y'all.
All right, that's what's up. Man, Chill, thank you so much for your time. It's greatly appreciated. And we're going to have to tap back into you, especially when you get back from Egypt, because we're going to talk about Egypt next time.
Hey, man, we ain't got to wait for that, man. I'm not going back until October and December. It'll almost be 2024 by then. We can build on that. That's almost a year from now.
We'll bring back a lot sooner. But like I said, I'm going to campaign for you. Man, because you got to get in this Universal Hip Hop Museum, and I know they're going to welcome you. It's probably just putting the pieces together, and it'll happen.
That's what's up. Hey, man, make it happen. I'm down.
All right, there it is. Once again, MC Chill, legendary Cleveland MC, my brother. Thank you so much for joining me on Conversations.
I'm out. Talk to me, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.